Hey guys, it's Julie Spencer, author of the Buxton Peak series. We are working our way through Buxton Peak, the early years, and starting into chapter 17. Hope that if you're liking these videos that you'll give them a thumbs up and share them on social media so others can see them as well. And that you'll subscribe to my channel so that you'll know the next time that I post another video. All right, let's start in. Buxton Peak, the early years. Chapter 17, The Stars Aligned. As a small limo pulled up to the curb, Ian bounded down the steps and had Andy in his arms faster than he could get out of the car. "Whoa, mate, you're going to knock me right over." Andy held on to Ian's arms to keep him from falling. "I'm afraid to get out of the car." Gary hesitated, gripping the door handle in jest. "Get out here before I climb in there with you," Ian said, releasing Andy and reaching for Gary. They wrapped their arms around one another, patting each other on the backs as brothers do. "Sorry, I'm staying in here," Kai called. "It sounds dangerous out there." Ian didn't hesitate, just climbed in the limo and threw himself into Kai's arms. Neither of them let go. Ian's throat tightened and moisture pricked the corners of his eyes. "You even smell good," Ian said. "You're a big crybaby, you know that?" Kai's throat caught at his words. "Shut up, you missed me too," Ian said. "And you know it." "It's good to have you home, pal," Kai whispered. "Nothing was the same without you." Gary poked his head into the car. "You guys aren't going to start snogging, are you?" "For the billionth time," Kai said, pushing Ian away, but only slightly. "I like girls." Kai shoved Gary as he climbed out of the car. "You may like girls," Gary teased, "but you're in love with Ian. Admit it." "I will never admit that. Out loud." Kai looked up and nearly ran into Ed, who stood with his feet shoulder-width apart and arms crossed. "I knew I was going to need to protect Ian from crazed girls," Ed told Kai, looking down his nose in mock seriousness. "I didn't realize he'd be attacked by guys as well." "Hey, Ian is really hot, you know. Anything could happen." Kai reached out and offered a hand of friendship. "You must be Ed." "You must be Ian's other love interest, Kai," Ed replied, gripping Kai's hand. "Other?" Kai swiveled around to face Ian. "Did you meet a girl?" Ian's neck and face heated up and he shoved his hands in his pockets of his jeans. "Maybe." "You finally getting some action, mate?" Andy pushed Ian's shoulder. "Good for you." "Andy, how many times do I have to tell you?" Ian asked, shoving him back. "I'm waiting until I'm married." "About as many times as I have to remind him that I like girls," Kai said, wrapping his arm around Ian's shoulders. They stepped off the curb and started toward the house. "Man, it's good to hear your banter," Ian said. "I missed all of you so much." "Don't get all sappy on us now." Gary came around and wrapped his arm around Ian's other shoulder. "I'm just here because you promised your mom was going to feed us." "She does make a very good pot roast." Ian became choked up. "Dude, I can't wait to get back on stage with you guys." "Glad you're home, mate." Ian leaned over and kissed the top of Ian's head. "See, I told you he was in love with Ian," Gary said. "Shut up, Gary," three voices said in unison. "You guys are a hoot," Ed snickered. "This job's going to be more fun than I realized." "Stick around, it gets worse," Andy said. "Or better," Ian pointed out, "depending on how you look at it." "Definitely better," Kai said. "Come on, let's go eat some pot roast so we can get to jamming," Ian said. "Let's rock." "Let's rock," the other three echoed. The stars were aligned once more. Buxton Peak was whole again. Nothing else mattered. "Let's start off with something easy and fun." Kai plugged in his electric guitar and the amplifier kicked in with a slight reverberation. Ian was distracted getting his microphone stand in the right position, so he was unprepared when the opening riff of Sweet Child of Mine came screaming through the speaker. Ian moaned and almost fell over, gripping his knees and doubling over. "Oh my gosh." "See, this is why Ian doesn't need a woman," Andy pointed out. "He gets off on music." "You have no idea." Ian closed his eyes and lowered his head, still not able to stand up. "Yeah, mate, we do." Gary wrapped his arm around Ian's shoulders. "We get to play it every day too, you know." "No, I don't know, because I've been gone for 2 years. Now shut up so I can listen. And Kai, start over, please." "Gladly," Kai said. The powerful and haunting guitar riff had nearly the same effect on Ian the second time around. This time, Andy was ready and brought in the bass riff, but Gary wasn't seated at the drums yet. As he was getting set, Ian forced himself to stand and finished fiddling with the microphone. "All right, Kai, start over again," Ian said. "This time, everybody be ready, okay?" "Sing it for us, oh fearless leader," Andy said. "If I remember how," Ian laughed and cued Kai. At exactly the right time, Ian's voice cried into the microphone without hesitation. It wasn't difficult to imagine the beautiful girl the lyrics spoke of. All Ian had to do was think of Sasha. Kai grinned as he continued playing. When they arrived at the chorus, Kai joined in on vocals, and it was magic. They continued on until they came almost to the guitar solo, when Kai stopped. "Hey, Ian, grab that guitar. When the second half of the solo starts in, join in for the complicated riff. It'll blow the audience away." "Are we actually going to play this in concert?" Ian asked, but lifted the guitar off its stand. "Sure, why not?" Andy asked. "It'll take us back to our roots, when we were little boys." "Okay, but after this we have got to practice our own stuff, because I haven't even heard our new CD. "I don't know if I'll remember the songs," Ian cringed. "That's what the fans are coming to hear, not old ballads from GNR. "Trust me, Ian, they're not coming to hear our new CD, Kai said. "They're coming to see you. So you could probably stand there and sing hymns to them and they'd scream for more." "He's not really going to do that, is he?" Gary asked innocently. "Of course not, you dork." Kai threw a guitar pick at him. "The point is, they don't care what you do. Jamming to that solo is going to bring them to their feet." "Okay, if you say so." Ian plugged in and waited for Kai to flow through the first part of the guitar solo. When the timing was perfect, Ian's fingers flew across the screens as if they remembered the riff on their own. His whole body became a part of the music, and power jolted through him with an intensity he didn't know he could experience. When the solo was over and he reached toward the microphone, no one else was playing. They stared at him as if he'd grown a second head. "What? Where did that come from, pal?" Kai's mouth gaped. Ian glanced at the other two, noticed similar expressions. I'd say he's still got it," Andy said. Remind me again why we hide him behind a microphone stand?" Gary asked. "I don't hide behind a microphone stand." Ian pouted. He ran his fingers down the silver pole in front of him and creased his eyebrows. "I use the whole stage. I do." "Dude, we were paying you a compliment, not being critical." Kai stepped over several cords to stand in front of Ian. "That was incredible." It was. Ian was insecure from lack of playing in such a long time. He knew it felt good. It felt incredible, as Kai had said. Ian took a deep breath and looked into the eyes of his best mate, the man who knew him better than anyone else in the world. "I believe you," he thought. He nodded. "Okay, let's rock." "Let's rock," Kai whispered. Without breaking eye contact, Kai started the opening riff for the first song they released on their new CD. Ian hadn't heard it or sang it in over 2 years, but he felt it through Kai. Ian closed his eyes and absorbed the sound, waiting, listening as Andy's bass and Gary's drums pulled him fully into the song. When the place arrived for his vocals, Ian called into the microphone with a passion and intensity that brought it all right back for him. A 2-year absence wasn't hindering him, and Ian had the distinct impression that he'd be blessed for his service. For the remainder of the jam session, Ian put his whole heart into the singing, and occasionally joined in on guitar. He was back. Buxton Peak was back. This is what he wanted to do for the rest of his life on Earth. Play, sing, feel music. He felt restored and rejuvenated. "Let's rock," he thought. All right, that is the end of chapter 17. I hope that if you're liking these videos that you will give them a thumbs up and share them on social media and subscribe to my channel so that others can enjoy them as well. And I'll see you on the next video. What are we looking at next? 18? Chapter 18 is called Backstage Pass. I'll let you think about that till the next video.